The slaves in Haiti rose up and they threw out the French. It was bloody, it was violent, but they did exactly what we would want them to do. Am I right? If you knew that there was a slave colony off the coast of the United States, how many of you would support the slave masters? Nobody. You'd support the slaves. They did exactly what the founding fathers in the United States did. The problem was when they threw out the French, it was a big risk to the United States and to all the other slave-owning countries. Because if you have the Haitian slaves who successfully lead a revolution against their slave masters for whom they are working and making enormous profits, what's going to happen in the United States? Because slavery is like what Thomas Jefferson said. It's like holding a wolf by the ears. And its teeth are snapping at you, and you're holding it by the ears, and you can't let it go, and you can't hold on. You know you're not going to hold on, but you can't let it go. And so the Americans and the British and the French and the Spanish, they all came together, and they said, look, okay, you hate slaves now. Here you are in Haiti. But the slaves had nothing because they didn't have the technology. They didn't have the resources. They didn't have the things they needed, what they needed. And most importantly, they didn't have trading partners because all of the slave-owning countries, including the United States, decided, listen, we're just going to immiserate them. These slaves who won their freedom against their violent slave masters, we're going to immiserate them. And we're going to embargo the whole country, and nobody will trade with them. So even when the Haitians are continuing to grow the sugar, they were responsible for half the sugar, 2/3 of the coffee that was produced. And so even now they're producing it on their own. Nobody will trade with them. So you got all this coffee, you got all this sugar, but nothing can happen. And so Haiti becomes immiserated, just immensely immiserated and poor. So instead of growing, the first black republic in the history of the world, instead of growing and expanding, Haiti just gets poorer and poorer. And this is the story. You see, if you look at Haiti today and you see that it's really poor, and you think, oh, well, these Haitians, they can't make things happen and what's wrong. But you have to study history. You have to see how they got there. And then it just continued. And then the French demanded reparations to the tune of what would be today, like $175 million, I think. So imagine these slaves who win their freedom in this country, and then the French say, listen, in order for you to do anything, in order for us to even begin to talk to you, you're going to have to pay $175 or $4 million to the French. And come on, man. The French. Look, 5 to 6 years. The brutal French. And but you slaves, I'm sorry, you're going to have to pay them back. Of course, they didn't have money. And so Haiti just became more immiserated. And this is how the world is, my friends. Not everywhere. But if you don't study this stuff and you don't see it, you can never understand. Even today, like rice, rice. This $430 million, that's how much we subsidize our rice farmers in the United States. Haiti had, there's Haitian rice. It's